session up here in Northumberland. We're out, against me better judgment, we're out on Beadnell Point. And I say that because Beadnell Point's been kind of hit-y-missy for me over the years. Sometimes I've just blanked, other times I've had the odd fish, the odd better fish. Like all marks at the fish on its day, but generally I tend to go other places. The reason I've come here today is because we've got an absolutely huge 0.3 as a 0.28 ebb, which is massive, which means marks that I was thinking about, Newton, Almouth, possibly Boomer, although to be fair, Boomer would have been a learning curve because I've never fished that somewhere I'd like to fish. I wanted to fish for a while. I thought the risk is, some of these marks are quite shallow, Newton especially, and you might get to a point where there's not a lot of water and I want to get wet here. Sometimes I just feel that when there's not quite enough water, the fish will back off a bit further out and then come back to the tide. So I thought, well, instead of trying to learn somewhere new like Boomer or losing valuable time because there's not enough water, I'll come fish Beadnell Point because I know there's always going to be plenty of depth, and as you might be able to see, I'll show you in a minute, there's loads of tide ripping off the end of here, which is obviously never a bad thing. So we're fishing 2 hours before low water's 20 to 11. I'm going to fish a couple hours down, maybe an hour up, see how it goes. I'm a little bit hungover because I stopped up here last night to see my folks, and yes, of course, we ended up drinking till quite late, so motivation and energy levels aren't what I was hoping they would be, but never mind, it's not too bad now. It's a lovely day, it's windy, it's probably about 25, 30, but the sun's out, sea's flat, water's gin clear, perfect conditions for this sort of fishing. So, oh, there's a bite there. Stinker, absolutely stink these things if you're not from this part of the country, but I'm happy with that. It's not the intended quarry, but it's a nice powerful fish. The old humble coley. All of us northeast lads have caught hundreds of these, probably a couple of teeth catching these things as kids down the harbour wall and in the river and stuff. Anyway, pleased with that. Let's get them back. Straight to the kelp. Right, I've got the tide absolutely ripping over the point. It's going down to me right, and all I want to try and do is just get me gear just in that tide run, but just to the left of where the point is, so it's tight up. Yeah, that's it. And I'm just putting my rod down because I don't want my line going over the top of these rocks. I think what I'll probably do is bring this down here. I'll try and keep everything very, very low today because of this wind. Tide's ebbing really quickly now. It's going to be interesting fishing here on a huge tide. I'm hoping that this is the difference, to be honest, between success and failure. I've just put the same bait straight back out there because it was only in for seconds literally. Right, so rigs today are the usual sort of medium-sized pulleys, 6-ounce plain sink on the bottom. I'm going to alternate between grippers and planes. 40-pound weak link, rotten bottom, splashdown, 100-pound rig body, bead, trident, figure of 8, bead, power swivel, 80-pound hook length, and that is 4/0 mustard Viking with a 2/0 Cox and Roll crab hook, and that's got a lump of peeler lash to it. So there's a fair bit of tide running over that point, so I'm going to, as I say, I'm going to alternate between grippers and plain sinkers, because I don't, a bit of movement's never a bad thing, but at the same time I don't want my gear just rolling into snags and wasting fishing time, so I'm just going to see how it goes. But loads of tide running straight off the end of the point. I'm going to get myself positioned on that flat rock down there. That'll probably do us for the rest of the session. I'm just going to keep chucking it out into that tide line, hopefully just to the right of the to the left of the point, where I'm hoping any fish will just be scouring along the face at this point. So let's add water and see what we can do. Just had another knock here. Yep, quite a sharp sort of knock that. I think on this next cast I'm going to get down to that flat rock down there, and then that should give us, I should be able to get on there for a good couple of hours, because it's only 9:15. There's still nearly an hour and a half to lower water. No, that's just gone a little quiet. What you do get a lot of lobsters around here. I mean, that's sometimes the only other thing to be aware of. Oh no, that's biting there. What's going on here? Small fish, if there is a fish on there, I think. Well, it was only a matter of time before I was joined by a visitor in the form of a big seal, which has just swam straight over the point, pretty much in line with where my gear is, and then hit the deck. So hopefully he's just on his way up to the farms and he's not going to bother us, but I just seem to be a bit of a seal magnet at the minute. Anyway, not necessarily a bad thing, it's proof there's something there, I suppose. Just noticed there when I was sorting that rig out, I had a hell of a lot of slack line. I've just had a bite on that cart bait. Very small, tentative sort of knocks. Strange, something definitely happening. Yeah, a bit more of a tap. Suspicious Coley or Ras tap that. Yeah. Just as I was about to put my rod down there, it started knocking a lot harder. And of course, you pick it back up, nothing. It is just caught mine, so if something is pecking away, it'll not have that long on the bottom. Something going on, yeah, it's strange. Yeah, that was more like it. Oh, don't tell us I missed that. Definitely the feel of another Coley, that. Proper sharp. How did I miss that? Right, give it a couple of minutes. I'll change my bait. Right, I've got a feeling that there's probably not a lot left on this. No, didn't think so. Coley's probably just pecked that to nothing. I probably really should have changed my bait a bit earlier, but never mind. Right, so I just want to kind of put this, as I say, I can see where the kelp is to me right. It's a little bit, it's coming actually the other way around. I thought that it bent round the other way, but it doesn't. It's sort of bending round to the northeast, east-northeast, which probably means where I've been casting isn't that bad. Decent amount of depth there. As you can see, I'm not belting baits today. I'm just trying to get as tight into the cliff as I can, really. An absolutely clonking bite followed by a load of slack line. It's a really, really good bite, that. Yep, it's rattling away there. Yep, I've got him. Strongly suspect it's another coley. Oh, yep, he's rattling, he's fighting like hell. Yeah, here he comes. Oh no, it's that Jesus, that's an even bigger coley, that. Christ. That is one of the best coleys I've ever caught. Look at that. God, did say before I had a feeling that something might happen with this bigger tide, and I tell you what, it certainly is, because that is an absolute monster of a coley, that. He's wolfed those hooks down, so I'm going to hopefully get him free, but look at that. Fantastic fish, that. Let's get him unhooked and get him back. Well, as I suspected, the tide is back right off, and so have the bites. I'm hoping that once it starts to flood strongly, it'll smash into the point, run all along here as it comes from the north, so that might just spark the action again. But I think if I keep catching coleys, which, you know, I'm happy to catch any fish, I wouldn't mind a kelpie, so I might. So I have had a little bit of success in the past chucking kind of southeast, which is potentially going to be a bit tricky, mind, with this howling wind, but I might just give it a shot and see if there's any heavier kelp, possibly a codler knocking around. But as I say, I'm going to persevere into the flood and just hope that that tide starting to run again just sparks things off a bit. But it's been plenty of action, to be fair. Obviously no codling, hopefully yet, but fish are fish, aren't they? That's why we do it. Right, just while the action's gone a bit quieter off this point, I'm going to fire one out a little bit further to the south, just on the off chance that there's a fish. As I say, it's definitely not as deep on that side as it is there, but as long as you've got 3-4 foot and there's fish in that kelp, it's definitely deep enough. Just had a canny knock followed by a bit of slack line there. Yep, someone having a look. Give that a minute. Wind's really picking up now. Right, I'm gonna investigate this one. God, wind's just building and building. So if you feel like you're a bit seasick over there, I apologise. Oh, thought I felt something for a second there, but nothing. This is going to be my last cast, I think. Right, what do? Do I go back to where I started, chuck towards the point, or shall I have another chuck down there? I'll give the point one more chance. Now that the tide's fully running. And then I'm definitely vacating. Right, come on. If you're not familiar with this type of fishing, all of this is this type of really thick, heavy kelp that you're trying to find, you're trying to cast your bait into, because that provides all the cover for the small fish, the bait fish, crabs, stuff like that. But then it also provides and attracts, well, it provides cover for the larger predatory fish as well, but obviously attracts them in. So really, ideally, you want your gear landing and all of that sort of stuff. Obviously the flip side of that is you've got to be using heavy rods and reels and end gear to make sure you can pull everything back through, hopefully the fish. Just have a little inquiry there. Of course, I've got somebody on a bloody, it's a seagull. That's what the inquiry was. I just can't seem to get away from birds flying into me line at the minute. He's all right though. He's just literally just pecking me line, the cheeky bugger. I'm also joined by a couple of paddle boarders. Shouldn't cause any problems, to be fair though. Be careful out there in this wind. Oh, getting the bite there now. That was a bit more positive. Definite look of a collie again, mind, I have to admit. Don't know if it's lying on and just having the odd head shake, or whether it keeps kind of circling the bait and having a bit of a pick at it. I'm going to have to get cracking in a minute anyway, so if nothing happens in the next 10 seconds, then I'm afraid it's coming in anyway. Right. No. Missed it. Never mind, it's been an enjoyable morning. Couple of fish, decent sized collie. Blew the cobwebs away from last night. Go and do it all again tonight. To be honest, if I had more, I mean there's a big seal out there as well. I've just noticed he's still kicking around. If I had more time, I'd probably let the flood really start and see if that made a difference, but unfortunately I don't have that much time. That bait's barely been touched. Oh, you know what it is, I'm going to chuck it down there just for 10 minutes. One more cast. Right, one more cast. Back into that heavy kelp over there. Crosswind, it should be all right. I saw that bait come in, it wasn't in bad condition. I thought, no, I'm gonna have to get just one more cast out of it. Try and get a kelpie. Weight on that. Nice, come on, over you come. Oh, straight into that weed. Right, that this time definitely is the full-time whistle. So it's been a canny little morning, still hard work on the kelpies yet again, but is what it is. Couple of fish, really nice collie. That may well be a PB collie for me, to be honest. It's just over 46 centimetres, really nice fish. So yeah, it's been enjoyable to get out here again. I think I'd definitely probably fish here on bigger tides in the future. Anyway, I've got to crack on, get sorted and head over west. So hope we've been out and about getting a few. As always, thanks for watching. Tight lines, keep fishing. We'll see you on the next one.